Its roots revisited, America's bitter and bloody roots. Young soldiers from the North and South marching into battle at Gettysburg, the turning point of the Civil War. 125 years later, history is relived, with soldiers uniformed again in blue and gray.
My great-grandfather fought here and was wounded, and I've always been a student of military history.
And I got involved through my love of history and American tradition.
It happens only once every 25 years. The 4,000-acre Gettysburg National Park takes a trip back in time, with thousands coming to watch this living history lesson. Dan Dunlop brought his family of 8 here from Virginia.
It's a time to remember something historical that happened in our country's history.
Horse-drawn wagons and ladies in hoop skirts. The year is 1863. A young America is torn apart north against south in the Civil War. And now, 125 years later, the Battle of Gettysburg is being reenacted.
It's really interesting because it feels like you walk into another time zone. You go back in time. It's like really weird.
I think the dresses are kind of neat with the hoop skirts and all.
Thousands of people from all over the country are camped out for this reenactment, and it's authentic Civil War. Take a look at this, right down to the food that's cooked over an open fire. They eat the same bland food, wear the same stifling wool clothes. It's all real, right down to the cannons. Armed with cameras and kids, thousands of tourists have come to watch history a second time around. This time it comes complete with souvenirs of this, the largest Civil War reenactment ever. It's the beginning of the end for the Confederate Army of the South. The Battle of Gettysburg claims 51,000 American lives and marks the turning point of the long and bloody Civil War.
So they just didn't have the strength to continue, and after 3 days fighting, Lee really needed a victory very badly, and he didn't get the victory he needed.
After this was over, the South didn't have the men or the power to really fight a full-scale war again.
This reenactment is authentic right down to the camps. Thousands of people in tents. No bathrooms, no electricity, none of the modern conveniences.
So you ate what you could. Hardtack, pickled beef, whatever. And you didn't mind the maggots. You went forward. You know why? Because you were hungry.
It's the largest Civil War reenactment ever staged. Gettysburg, 125 years later. This time it's old mixing with new, as thousands of participants and tourists converge for a repeat performance.
Sir, behind. After a certain number of days of battle, both sides were tired, and both sides were beaten, literally.
With authentic uniforms and weapons, thousands of troops reenacted the 3-day Battle of Gettysburg last weekend. In 1863, there were 50,000 killed and wounded here, the beginning of the end for the Confederate Army of the South, which eventually lost the Civil War 2 years after this fateful battle at Gettysburg. Stephanie Stahl, Channel 10 News.